on Insight or Onsite.
Good evening, everyone. Before I move ahead with the topic, I would like to first congratulate everybody, the entire Bob family, for the fabulous journey of 6 years. Moving ahead with the topic, as you can see, it's Insight or Onsite. Majorly, it is because we recently made a trip to Europe, and that is why it is relevant. So, as I understand, everybody understands what exactly on-site is. On-site, as we know, it is about being at client's premise. It can be in Ahmedabad, it can be somewhere in India, or it can be even at an abroad location, maybe in Europe, US, or anywhere. So, why we chose this topic? It is very important because we also started with the very first presentation, Vision 2020, wherein we all understood, we saw a lot of challenges in terms of the IT industry, wherein we discussed a couple of points wherein it was very important that why on-site is going to be important in our vision. In the next 4-5 years, what we have vision for our company, on-site is literally very, very important. Not in terms of just the sales people going on-site, doing some sales. It is also about everybody from the development team, including QA, designer, anybody can be on-site representing the company, as we are also moving towards becoming a multinational company. So we would like to have people who can be there, represent our company, and wherever there is a need, they can stay and go to the client's premise and do some kind of development or any other efforts which we need to make. So that's why it really becomes very important to understand on-site knowing is why on-site is that important. So moving ahead with the in terms of how do we prepare ourselves for the on-site. As I understand, this is definitely not a rocket science. Everybody have already traveled to a lot of abroad location. But when we talk about being on-site representing your company, it becomes little different in terms of when you are going to a location wherein you are representing both systems. So here you can see there is no success formula. So we can, it obviously depends on person to person, and it will obviously depend on the department to department. Let's say if somebody is going from sales team, the objective would be quite different. If somebody is going from the development team, the objective would again be quite different. So, but anybody from any department, there has to be some preparations, there has to be some thought process going before you go there and while you are there. So these are two aspects on which I am going to emphasize on. Starting with the preparation in terms of before you go there. So the very first thing is about the preparation. The preparation does not start with when you are planning to go there. It should start with while you are in the company, and there can be an opportunity where when you should be ready. Let's say we have seen some of the instances wherein we had the opportunity for the developer to go on site, but they were not ready with their passports. So without somebody telling you that you should be ready with your passports, it is our duty to have those kind of things ready available with us. The first and foremost thing is obviously the passport. Everybody should be ready with their passport. And once that passport thing is there, there are a lot of other preparations which we also need to make. Another thing is the planning. Planning is when, let's say as I said, when the opportunity comes, then you can start making your plan. Before that opportunity comes, there are a lot of other things which you should already be aware of. And when we go ahead with this planning thing, you should be clear with your objective. As I said, it depends on the department to department. Let's say if somebody is going from development team, their planning has to be in terms of that direction. And there is a KYC. It is a very overdone term wherein we all understand it is knowing your customers. But here in our perspective, we can see it as knowing your company as well. What we have felt so far is that whenever you are going to on-site representing your company, you should be very well aware of the facts and figures about your company. Be it a sales guy, be it a development guy, whenever you are representing your company on a client's premise, you should be completely aware of what your company's vision is, when it had started, how do you see your company moving in the next few years. These are the very important aspects you should be completely aware of, and these are the things which you cannot do some kind of ratta before you go to the on-site. So these are the things you should be keep on doing right with your job itself. And then obviously knowing your clients. So whenever you are going to be at client's premises, you should definitely be aware of the client, what exactly they are into, what kind of their work culture is, how they are going to be working with you, what kind of tasks and objectives you are having in your hand, be it a development or be it having a general meeting or even the training which you are going to do on the client's premises. And then, of course, when you are aware with all these KYC terms, then there has to be some research in terms of which geography you are going. As we already discussed in a couple of panel discussions, every geography will have its own challenges. If we are going to have some kind of on-site stay in the geography of United States or maybe in the Europe, there will be different challenges. There will be different rules, there will be different aspects of being on-site. So there needs to be some resource from your own desk. Obviously there will be your seniors who will be guiding you, and there will be a lot of other materials available with you, but you should also be doing some kind of your own research while you are going to have an on-site stay. And then of course checklist, we all do that whenever we take an important trip or whenever we are going to have an important presentation or any such thing, we have to make our checklist. So starting from the preparation till planning and everything, we have to be aware of what we need to be having or carrying with us. As I also talked about research in terms of food. Let me tell you a very interesting story in terms of food. If somebody is completely vegetarian, that person definitely needs to do some research, because it is always very difficult to find vegetarian food in any of these locations, especially in Europe. And I'll tell you that if you are vegetarian, you should be prepared to eat pizza every night for at least 1 week. That is what Chirandu sir has done during our EU trip. I was a non-vegetarian, but even I was finding it very difficult to find those kind of non-vegetarian foods, because even non-vegetarians can be different things which I cannot eat. So these kind of research are always very important. And also what we used to do there is that we used to carry some Google Translator along with us. Whenever we walked into a restaurant, there will be a menu. In Europe, there are a lot of different languages. It's very uncommon to find English language, so it is very difficult. What we used to do is that we used to take a look at those menu, and there was a word pullet, and there was different words. So we memorized those words, that these are something which we can eat. And when we ask them that we are vegetarian, they will simply look at us like we are aliens. They said that no, we do not have anything. We walked into McD, wherein Chirandu sir said that I need some vegetarian food. He said that you can have, but you just need to remove everything from those burgers and you can eat simply bread. And we had no option but to walk out of that restaurant. So these kind of research are always very important, and as I said, we had to live on those pizza for 6 nights continuously. But obviously there were some other supplementary foods which I cannot tell here, which kept us afloat. In those we had to travel a lot of different countries, so we used to have those kind of things available with us. Moving ahead with the next aspect, which is while these kind of preparations are already there before you are going to be on site. Once you are there, there is the very important thing is company representation. As I already said, that once you are going on site, it is not just that you are going. It is
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Even I would want to complete it in 2 minutes. So being a company representative, what you need to do is that, as I already said, you need to know about your company, and when you are representing your company, it is just that whatever you do, most of the people in the Europe at least, they have those kind of mindset that they will stereotype you with your behavior. If you do something like this, they will bluntly tell you in front of you itself that all Indians are like this only, or all Bow system guys could be like this only. So you should be very vigilant in terms of how your behaviors are. And then moving quickly with the next thing, this is observant. As I said, while you go on site as a developer, you are there, you need to be observant. You need to see how these guys are doing. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of stories which I wanted to tell, but Nitin sir asked me to complete in 2 minutes. But still I will tell one very simple story. small story in terms of when we first went to Norway or maybe in Finland, we wanted to have some water. What the client did that he went to kitchen and from the sink he fetched one glass of water. We were shocked. How can I drink water from the sink? But that is how they do. They do not have any kind of water filter or there is no separate drinking water stations there. So you have to observe it how these guys are drinking, eating or things like that. That is only thing which are going to help you.
Ravi, I would say you were lucky that you got water from kitchen. I got water from the bathroom.
So obviously once you have observed so many things, you will have to do it yourself.
Bathroom incidents.
No, I don't think I can share that. So once you have observed so many things, and of course you will need to do it yourself. There are so many restaurants there. In fact, even in the first hotel in Norway, what we had to do is that in the evening, morning breakfast, we had to carry our own plates and put into those kind of dustbins, so which we have never been, used to the kind of culture in India. You always get to those water even from those waiters, but there you even have to get your plates put into those dustbins. So what we did that we watched for a few minutes how these guys are doing. Chirandu sir said that wait here for a few minutes, see these guys are putting these plates on those dustbins or not, then only what we will do it. So a lot of things which you will have to do it on your own. Even in the hotels there are no waiters, there are no servants to fetch you water or even carry your suitcases. And then the most important thing, we all understand we go there for the work, but we should not forget about enjoying that stay. Whatever comes, irrespective of even if you miss your luggage, you should enjoy that stay. And then, of course, following the crowd is very important. What we used to do there, that a lot of things that whenever we wanted to, I will not tell that story, but what happens that we have to follow those crowds in which direction they are moving. Even in terms of safety, in the night we had to find some restaurants. We took a walk of around 2-3 kilometers in such an area where we should not have been. So it becomes very important where these guys are doing, how these guys are behaving, and then only you should be following them. So this really becomes very important. You see those people, how they are behaving, and then only you follow them. This is basically some traffic rules which I was talking about. That there are a very interesting story about this also, that we had to cross a road, but we never knew that, just like in India, that when some car is not coming, then only you cross in India. But here, there what happens that they have this kind of board where you push on that switch and then the entire traffic will stop and then you can walk over that road. So this is how we did not notice in the first few days, and it was very difficult, but gradually we learnt about it. And there are a lot of other things which we learnt just by the observing. There was some queue etiquettes. There were people standing with a difference of at least 2-3 feet. While in India, you can see how these people are. And when we had to buy some tickets on the railway station, and when we were standing in queue, we felt like something this. People were standing very apart from this, and then we felt how, wow, in India we never had this kind of situations. And of course, again I said, you have to enjoy your stay. You should bring some good memories for your company. You can have some story to share with your people. And last but not the least, you need to bring some chocolates for your team. Thank you very much for hearing me out. I hope I told you, but even if I told you, you cannot do anything because attendance was compulsory. Thank you.